The NDP just had a big shuffle of their staff, and they did it right before Christmas because, of course, they don't want you to know what they've done. Now, last week, Graham Mitchell left his role as the chief of staff in the energy portfolio. He was the anti-oil, anti-fracking, anti-Alberta lead now activist from Toronto who spent years and years organizing against Alberta and against Canadian energy. He was a registered lobbyist whose goal was to make sure that no Alberta pipelines were ever built. Mitchell was one of Rachel Notley's craziest appointments, and she's made some real crazy ones. But Mitchell's gone now, back to Ontario, and BC has a big election coming up. The anti-everything, anti-energy people have to get themselves organized, so Mitchell went back to the Hive in Ontario to prepare for it all. But Rachel Notley had to replace Mitchell with someone. With 200,000 Albertans unemployed, mostly in the energy sector, she must have hired someone from the Alberta energy sector, maybe an Albertan who knows the industry and can advocate and work to get Alberta's energy to market, right? Of course not. Rachel Notley hired another out-of-province activist, one from BC that she already hired to work in her government's Southern Alberta office at the McDougall Centre. That activist is Marcella Monroe. You might remember Marcella Monroe as a journalist wrangler who threw myself and Rebel contributor Holly Nicholas out of an entire hotel that the Alberta government's royalty review press conference was taking place at for just wanting to do our jobs. But Monroe's worse than just a hired BC thug who doesn't understand freedom of the press. She, too, is an anti-oil activist just like her predecessor Mitchell. She hates Alberta oil and has spent a lifetime working against Alberta pipelines. During her time in BC, working for the activist flake Vancouver Mayor Gregor Robertson. Monroe has tweeted about being happy the Northern Gateway pipeline project was rejected, and she even encouraged people to keep fighting the multi-billion-dollar job-creating project here in Alberta. And during her time with Vision Vancouver, Monroe wrote a blog post that said, "Housing, affordability, a greener city, supporting our entrepreneurial culture, saying no to projects like Kinder Morgan to protect our environment and our quality of life." So she's against Alberta pipelines. So what are her qualifications to be the de facto Minister of Energy? I don't know. She wore an I Love Oil Sands shirt once like a costume, and I guess she can put that on her resume. Maybe she's good at checking someone's pulse. Someone needs to be making sure that missing in action Energy Minister Marg McQuaig Boyd is still alive from time to time. Monroe can do that. But after Rachel Notley's last two hires in the energy ministry, there is no amount of lip service that can convince me that she is pro-pipeline. For the Rebel.media, I'm Sheila Gunn-Reid. Have you heard about our big plan? We want to add some exciting new Rebel contributors to the mix. To find out how you can help, go to thebigplan.ca.